When do you believe the birth pangs officially begin or began? According to um, Church Father Irenaeus and Isaiah 29, I believe that they started officially when Israel came back. The birth pangs are really interesting. And there's actually two other references I found to the birth pangs. They're called the Hevle Shel Mashiach, going through Jude and Peter. So not Jude, but I've been going through those recently. The Hebrew texts, and it's interesting because you go back and read it in Greek, and it just says the sorrows. Like, okay, well that kind of fits, but the whole idea of the birth pangs, the sorrows, is the people being born into Messiah. So we had that experience 2,000 years ago when the church started. And we will have a birth pangs of the Messiah when Israel begins to become messianic. And that's not all in one day. It takes time. And I think the majority of it's going to be during the tribulation period. But they became a state in 1948. And according to Isaiah 29, they found scrolls that same year, which began to let them know that some of their traditions were lies. They'd been lied to by some of the rabbis. And now they're going forward and looking at this. And because of that, we have hundreds of thousands of messianic congregations now, which is still very small compared to Israel itself. But the fact in just 50, 60 years that something like that would happen. The first messianic congregation that I remember over here, I believe, was 1973. But, again, numbers. I'm an old guy. My numbers might be off. So anyway, but so from the 70s to the 2020s, so that's 50 some years, we have an incredible amount of messianics now. So I believe that. Irenaeus made the comment, the church father, that when Israel comes back in their land, that's when the prophecies would begin to be fulfilled and knowledge would be increased. He was quoting that prophecy out of Daniel. Well, Daniel says, many will go to and fro and knowledge will be increased. And then Irenaeus said it's when Israel comes back in their land that starts that process. And then when you plug in Isaiah 29, that says when the war happens, it's talking about a war between Israel and Romans, basically. And it's talking about God is angry with Israel, so he uses the Roman Empire to kick them out of their land. So that's obviously the 70 AD to 135 AD, the Roman expulsion. And then he switches and he's talking about a time when Israel is fighting again for their land and God makes them victorious. Well, they can't lose and be victorious at the same time. So it's obviously talking about they get kicked out by the Romans, they come back. So that's 1948. And it says when that happens, the old ones would begin to speak out of the dust of the earth, which has to be a seance with ghosts, or somebody digs up writings from the old ones. And that's exactly what happened, the writings. So you plug all that together, starting in 48, and again, it's a process. We didn't get the 11Q13 until I think the mid-80s with the Cave 11. We're still waiting on the stuff from Cave 12 so about 5 years ago now, something like that, to be deciphered. So it's very interesting. That's coming along. There's actually a lot of scrolls, a lot of things out there that we're going to be getting a chance to look at in the coming years, if we're here that long. But that's a good question. Thank you.